after weeks of constituents demanding that Democrats use this rare, precious point of leverage on a government funding bill, Schumer did the opposite. He led the charge to wave the white flag of surrender, rolling over for Trump while democracy burns. Chuck Schumer had basically one job last Friday, to stand between Donald Trump and the complete dismantling of American democracy. Instead, he caved again, handing Trump the power he craved without a fight, without a demand, without even a moment of real resistance. And with every cowardly compromise, Schumer isn't just failing Democrats, he's enabling an autocrat in real time. So a lot of Democrats are asking Schumer right now, how's that keeping the government open to hold Trump accountable thing working out for you? Both the House and Senate are in recess right now, but Trump's not. He's moving right along. In fact, just hours after Schumer and a handful of timid Senate Democrats passed Donald Trump's version of the 2025 version of the Enabling Acts, Trump gifted Vladimir Putin with shutting down the Voice of America, Radio Liberty, and the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars at the Smithsonian. He then assaulted the civil service workers by shutting down the Federal Mediation and Conciliation Service, and attacked women and black people by shutting down the Minority Business Development Agency, the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness, and the Community Development Financial Assistance Fund. So, yeah. And all this cave-in to the Mango Mussolini has Democrats seriously pissed off. Chuck Schumer's trying to do damage control. He's got an op-ed in the New York Times over the weekend, which actually I think made things worse. 8 years ago, when Trump was starting his first term, NBC News polled Americans and found that 59% of Democratic voters wanted Schumer and the Democrats to negotiate things with Trump. In other words, meet him in the middle and work out things and make America work and all that kind of stuff. Only a third said that Democrats should stick to their positions, even if that means not being able to get things done in Washington, D.C. But that was 8 years ago. And apparently is the era in which Chuck Schumer is still living. Democratic voters have a very different message for their elected representatives. Fight like hell. Now, the survey from NBC News this year, compared to 8 years ago, two-thirds of Democrats wanted Democratic elected representatives to negotiate with Trump. Now that number is down to 32%. 65%, two-thirds of Democrats say that Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries need to basically go to war with the Republicans. And because Schumer caved into the GOP, the Democratic Party's favorability rating is a shocking 27% right now. I mean, Democratic voters get it, that when Schumer and Gillibrand and Fetterman and Cortez Masto and Durbin and Schatz and Peters and Hassan and Shaheen and King basically, sold us out, that they had seen this Republican strategy coming all the way since the election in November. I mean, everybody knew that we were going to hit the debt ceiling around March 15th. We did, by the way. Right now, the government is moving money around. We are now post having hit the debt ceiling. It won't really start to bite until June, in all probability. That's when the Republicans are going to be forced to come back to Congress and say, please do something. And the Democrats will have another chance to stand strong or to wimp out. And, we'll see how this plays out. Republicans are already planning to punk Schumer and his Peace in Our Time colleagues again. And it sure appears the Democrats are already giving in. I mean, where is the conversation from Democrats right now about the fact that we're already past the debt ceiling, that we are in dangerous federal territory right now? This is why the largest progressive organization in the United States right now, Indivisible.org, over the weekend endorsed replacing Chuck Schumer as the Senate majority or minority leader. Ezra Levin, who's the co-executive director, they had meetings. 1,600 local chapters got together. They had two emergency meetings, one for group leaders in New York State and one for people nationally. 82, because New York State is where Schumer and Gillibrand are from, and they were the two who led this thing of let's cave into Trump. 82% of the group leaders in New York State said Schumer needs to be replaced as majority leader with somebody who will actually fight with Republicans. 91% of the leaders nationwide said the same thing. 91%. So Ezra Levin, the co-executive director of Indivisible, he says, after weeks of constituents demanding that Democrats use this rare, precious point of leverage on a government funding bill, Schumer did the opposite. He led the charge to wave the white flag of surrender. But Indivisible has no intention of surrendering to Trump, Musk, and congressional Republicans. We thank him for his service, Schumer, but we need new leadership at this moment, and we understand to get there we need a chorus of support for change. Our democracy is in danger. The path ahead will be hard. Indivisibles are ready to do the work. It's time for a Senate Democratic leader who is too. So, one of the things that I think it's important to note, and this is kind of following up on a conversation I had last Thursday with our war correspondent colleague, who's Phil Ittner, who's based out of Kyiv, Ukraine, was, Phil was saying, everybody's asking, what is it that Putin has on Trump? Why is Trump always giving in to Putin? He said, what if it's not that Putin has anything on Trump? What if it's that Trump loves Putin? He loves the way he runs Russia. He wants America to look just like Russia. Putin is his role model. Putin is his mentor. If that's true, that's actually more dangerous than Trump being afraid that Putin's going to release a PP tape or something. I mean, because, Trump is laying the foundation right now to turn America into Russia. He's going after the free press. He's going after dissent. He's going after the colleges. He's going after the institutions of America. He's going after the power of Congress. This is how democracies die, from the end of the Roman Republic to Germany in the 1930s to modern day Russia and Hungary. In every case, there were a dictator who represented majority opinion, by the way, who said, look out, here's what's going to happen, and who were ignored by people like Chuck Schumer, by the people in power. And I mean, Russia and Hungary show democracies don't collapse overnight. There are attacks on governance, there are attacks on civil liberties, and there are attacks on economic fairness. And those things, when they're successful, bring about the decline and ultimately the end of democracies. I mean, here you had Trump snatch 3 students from their homes, and he's detaining them in defiance of the First Amendment because they pissed off Benjamin Netanyahu, his fellow criminally corrupt autocrat. I mean, he's in defiance of multiple court orders, most recently this one over the weekend about deporting these Venezuelans. And now they're investigating Habitat for Humanity, and they froze their checking account. This is the kind of thing that dictators do. He's punishing prosecutors for investigating him for his very real crimes. His cabinet meetings are like something out of North Korea. Yes, dear leader, you are so wonderful. You are so manly. You are doing such a marvelous job. We're so honored to be here with you. Or, if not North Korea, something out of The Apprentice, his old TV show. But basically what he's doing is he's following Putin's template from the late 1990s and early 2000s. Democratic decline doesn't spontaneously correct itself. It must be fought tooth and nail at every level. And when Democrats play by the old rules after Republicans have completely abandoned them, they're giving up our democracy. And we cannot allow them to do that. It's too late to screw around anymore. Putin, the fossil fuel billionaires, and the fascist white male supremacists in the United States are hell-bent on destroying our democracy, and we have to fight back. There's no more room for weak leadership. Who do you think should replace Chuck Schumer as the leader of the Democrats in the Senate? I vote for Bernie Sanders. He has the seniority, although I get it. We should probably have somebody younger.